Hello everyone, welcome back to another election prediction video. This time we have the 2028 Republican primary between these four candidates. The reason I'm just skipping over the 2024 Republican primary as of right now is I just think Trump's going to win every state, so it's probably would be just a boring video, and I just think a 2028 matchup would be a lot more interesting. So it would definitely be between these four candidates, I would say. So Ron DeSantis for sure will be running in 2028. Same with Nikki Haley. Those are definitely two candidates who have proven that they're at the top of the pack. They're in second and third place, respectively, as of right now in the 2024 Republican primary. And we have Vivek Ramaswamy. He's definitely going to be probably running again in the future, I could see. And Josh Hawley, the senator from Missouri. I just think either him or J.D. Vance would run, and they would really try to be the Trump loyalist. They'll really portray themselves as extremely loyal to Trump in hopes of getting his endorsement, or at least like a light endorsement. And I think Josh Hawley probably would get a light endorsement because Trump really doesn't like DeSantis that much, and Nikki Haley, he's kind of more neutral. I mean, I don't really see him attacking her that much, but I would see that Trump probably would favor Josh Hawley out of all the candidates to succeed him. So let's get right into it. So first off, the schedule. I'm just going to use the schedule that's being used for 2024 because typically primary schedules kind of mirror what they were 4 years ago anyway. Nothing really changes that much. So again, it's typically just the first four states here. But let's start off with the first one. Iowa, it's proportional caucus. But again, DeSantis, he probably would finish in second in 2024 here. And he did get the Iowa governor's endorsement in 2024. So in 2028, I do think he would probably get a lot of the more right-wing voters to go along with him, probably getting like 37%. I think Nikki Haley get a strong second place finish. Vivek Ramaswamy probably gets like 12% or something. Maybe a bit lower than that. I think Josh Hawley would probably get around 20%. I think he'd do a tiny bit better, so we just readjust the delegate totals here. I think he would kind of finish kind of close behind Nikki Haley, because again, I think a lot of Trump voters would vote for him here. But again, it's one of Trump's weakest states. So the next state, New Hampshire, I think Nikki Haley would probably be very close to a victory here. She's currently in second in the other primary in 2024. So again, I think she would probably end up winning this against DeSantis. Well, DeSantis just gets second. Josh Hawley gets around 22%, I would say, and Vivek Ramaswamy gets like 13%. So the next state is Nevada, and it'll probably be a caucus here because, again, they're just boycotting this, and they'll probably boycott it 4 years later anyway. And Nevada is another proportional state, and I just think with Latino voters and Trump out of the picture in 4 years, DeSantis would probably get first place here by a pretty good margin. He would do well with Latino voters. Well, Nikki Haley again gets second, and Josh Hawley gets third, and I could see this being one of Vivek Ramaswamy's weaker states, so he only gets 8%. Again, Vivek being the race probably hurts Josh Hawley, because Vivek Ramaswamy is also a huge Trump loyalist. So coming up with the next state, or the Virgin Islands caucus, yeah. It's a delegate selection one. So again, I think it's pretty much party insiders vote in this one. But I just think that it would be a close race between DeSantis and Nikki Haley here, but I think Nikki Haley would get it because she's more electable. I think that would be their option there. South Carolina, it's by congressional districts, like winner take all, basically. Again, Nikki Haley would probably get like 80% of the delegates or something, while DeSantis only wins like a congressional district or two. So again, she would just get the vast majority of delegates from that state. The next primary, well, again, Michigan, it's probably going to be a caucus held a bit later because they're probably going to boycott it like they did Nevada. Idaho and Missouri are using the old schedule. So Idaho, again, I think more the religious voters here, the evangelicals would go behind Ron DeSantis. And I think Vivek Ramaswamy would drop out at this point after a disappointing finish in South Carolina. But Missouri, Josh Hawley's home state, of course, he would win it, and it's winner take most, so you get most of the delegates here. Well, I think DeSantis probably gets second, and Nikki Haley gets third. Okay. DC's up next. Let's see. It's winner take all. North Dakota, it's pretty much a caucus. So again, I think DC, Nikki Haley is definitely the most establishment candidate. She would probably win here. North Dakota, let's just take a look at how their caucus works. Allocated on delegate selection. Yeah, it's a pretty weird way to do it. Again, I think it might just be that only party elites could really vote in that caucus. But I think DeSantis would do a decent job at courting them over, so I think he would get most of the delegates from here. Well, the rest is get some scatter shot of delegates. And now we're heading into Super Tuesday. So the top three candidates, DeSantis, Nikki Haley, Josh Hawley, at least they all have a win on the board. And I think in a lot of these states, Josh Hawley would do a lot better because these states so far voted aren't that favorable towards him. So Vermont, again, the more establishment Republican typically wins here. DeSantis would get around second, Hawley third. Massachusetts, surprisingly, it's a very Trump-friendly state, so I think Josh Hawley, being the most loyal to Trump, would probably get the backing here. Again, Massachusetts Republicans nowadays, they were willing to vote out their very popular governor in the primary, which is why that governor didn't run for re-election. So I think Hawley would be pretty much a favorite here, winning most of the delegates. Nikki Haley would probably get around second. In Maine, again, it's winner take most. It's a pretty populous state in Republican primaries, but even Trump lost it. So again, I think Nikki Haley would probably be the favorite here. I think a lot of establishment Republicans would go her way, while DeSantis would probably get second here, and Josh Hawley probably gets like third. Okay, in Alabama and Tennessee, just because of how close it is to Florida, and DeSantis focuses a lot on Tennessee in 2024, I think that'll definitely help him get a narrow victory here. Or not a narrow victory, but maybe get a win here, winning most of the delegates. Nikki Haley probably gets third here, honestly. I think Josh Hawley would perform pretty decently here, considering it's close to Missouri. Alabama, I think the state would also go to DeSantis, while Hawley again gets second. So Virginia, North Carolina, it's proportional in each of these two states, so it's just pretty much their vote percentage. But again, I think Nikki Haley, the establishment Republicans typically perform pretty well here. Josh Hawley gets like probably around that much support, 24%. DeSantis gets the rest. Hawley probably again gets third place here. And I could just see Nikki Haley again winning here just because of it's really close to South Carolina. And I just think that would definitely help her out here. That regional advantage would definitely come into play for her there. Arkansas, this is a Josh Hawley victory. A very Trump loyalist state. I think this would definitely go to Josh Hawley. Nikki Haley probably ends up getting third here, while DeSantis just gets second. Oklahoma, again, I can just see Josh Hawley doing extremely well here. DeSantis getting second, Nikki Haley getting third. Minnesota, pretty sure it's winner take all. Let me just check. Yeah, winner take all. It's pretty much a Rust Belt state in the primary, very populist. I see this also going to Josh Hawley. Gets 100% of the delegates here. Colorado and Utah, again, both winner take most states. I think most of them back Nikki Haley here. DeSantis gets second. Josh Hawley third. Utah, again, it's really tough to tell here. But judging that DeSantis did win in Idaho, I think Utah would probably end up going towards DeSantis just because the religious right will probably be behind him more than Nikki Haley. So I'd just give that victory in Utah to DeSantis, and California and Texas. So it pretty much depends on who the front runner is. And again, it's pretty tough to tell, but I could see Texas actually going towards... It's either between Hawley and DeSantis. I don't think Nikki Haley ended up winning in this state. Pretty tough to tell. Tough to tell. I think Hawley would end up getting it. Again, I just think being a Trump loyalist would definitely help him out here. Just getting that victory against DeSantis here and getting the 66% of the delegates because of winner take most rules. But California, that'll probably end up going towards DeSantis. Again, he would probably do better with the Latino voters here. Well, Nikki Haley and DeSantis and Hawley probably finish pretty closely behind each other, but Nikki Haley would probably end up getting second over Hawley. Okay, I think that's it. Oh, I forgot Alaska. That's also a proportional state, I am pretty sure. Let me just go ahead and check if it'll load out the preview. Yeah, American Samoa, I'm pretty sure it's delegate selection as well. So again, it really just depends on how well they are to appealing to the establishment Republicans, but I think Nikki Haley would get American Samoa's delegates. And Alaska at large probably ends up going towards Nikki Haley. Again, it's more of the establishment Republican state, and DeSantis would just finish a bit close behind until Hawley's in third. So again, just judging by the delegates, we pretty much have a real legitimate three-way race here. But let's see what the next state would be. Guam, is it proportional? Delegate selection again. So again, usually they tend to go to the front runner here. I think DeSantis would probably end up beating Nikki Haley and Guam. Northern Marianas Islands, proportional. This is probably a bit better for Josh Hawley as long as he pretty much backs Trump by a lot here. He would probably end up winning here, while Nikki Haley and DeSantis each get 2 delegates. Puerto Rico's next, Latino voters. It's heavily Latino geographic here. I just think DeSantis would do pretty well here. And let me just check what format it is. Winner take most basis, so 66% or so. Then Nikki Haley and Josh Hawley just split the difference there. Georgia, Hawaii, Mississippi, and Washington. Georgia is a winner-take-all primary, but again, Nikki Haley's geographic advantage would definitely come in for her, just giving her a victory in Georgia. Mississippi, it's winner-take-most state, but it would definitely be hotly contested between DeSantis and Hawley here. But, it's a tough one to decide. I think DeSantis probably just edges him out here. But even a narrow victory, like by 1%, gets 66% of the delegates, which is kind of crazy in Republican primaries. But I just think DeSantis would just have that narrow little advantage. Then we have Hawaii and Washington, which are both proportional states. So it'll be pretty tough to tell here. Any one of these 3 candidates could win it. But just by judging by how well DeSantis is doing in the West, I would probably give it to him just on that regional advantage. Nikki Haley probably gets second here, while Hawley gets third. And in Hawaii, Nikki Haley, being the more establishment Republican, probably would do well here with DeSantis in a close second and Hawley in third. Okay, so Arizona, Florida, Illinois, Kansas is probably the only one that's pretty much like South Carolina with its winner-take-all congressional district. The rest are just winner-take-all states. So again, Florida, it's a winner-take-all state. Of course, DeSantis is going to win his own home state here. No doubt about that. But Ohio and Illinois, they're winner-take-all states. And with Hawley being the populist Republican in this race, having a lot of Trump backing, I see him winning both of these states by pretty decent margins. And in Kansas, again, he is from neighboring Missouri, so that'll definitely help him out. So I think he would win most of the congressional districts here, with DeSantis winning a few of them here and there. But it's pretty much like a winner-take-all, or it's winner-take-all in the congressional districts and the at-large. So Hawley gets most of the delegates. And the state of Arizona, it's tough to say who would win here. I think it's a real race between all 3 of them, honestly, but again, it's winner take all, so I got to think this through here. But I just think that DeSantis probably would win it here, because I just think this race will eventually just boil down into DeSantis versus Hawley battle. So I just think those 2 candidates will duke it out. Nikki Haley, after winning 0 states here, even though she has a decent amount of delegates, she would probably drop out. And I could probably see her endorsing DeSantis or just declining not to endorse either. Either way, I think Nikki Haley's delegates will probably break the convention here. So yeah, it's pretty much turning into a very interesting scenario. Louisiana, I know it's a winner-take-all state. Again, I think DeSantis have a bit of an advantage here against over Josh Hawley, so I think he would end up winning in Louisiana. And then we have the Acela primary, basically. Connecticut, Delaware, New York, Rhode Island, and Wisconsin for some reason. Usually it's Pennsylvania lumped in with it, but just isn't in this case. Wisconsin, again, Hawley being the more populist Republican, he would probably win the Wisconsin primary, and it's a winner-take-all state. Pretty sure Connecticut is winner take most, correct? Delaware is probably winner take all. Interesting. New York winner take most. Rhode Island winner take most. So again, I could see a lot of establishment Republicans going DeSantis's way against Josh Hawley. So I'd have Delaware going towards DeSantis. And then the rest of these 2 states, or 3 states remaining, Rhode Island, again, he did perform pretty well in Massachusetts, so I just see it going his way. Same with Connecticut. He did perform pretty well in Massachusetts, just the same reasoning. And New York. It'll be a tough one, but I think Josh Hawley could pretty much narrowly edge out DeSantis here. Even a narrow victory gets a 66% of the delegates. But DeSantis still in the lead. All right, this is going to be quite eventful. Wyoming, PA, and Indiana all winner take all. So again, I think DeSantis would do quite well in Wyoming. He would also, I think populist Republicans would probably go his way in Pennsylvania. And Indiana, I think DeSantis would actually end up winning the state. Again, I could just see him getting a lot of those Republican coalition there. In Michigan, I forgot to do this one earlier on, but it would probably happen at some point around weeks after Super Tuesday. Again, Josh Hawley, it's a winner take most state. He'd probably get most of the delegates here. Again, still DeSantis in the lead. I think the remaining states are pretty much all winner take all. I'm just checking. Kentucky, Oregon are proportional. Okay. Let me just check again. Maryland, Nebraska, West Virginia. So again, Maryland would probably end up going towards DeSantis. It's more establishment Republican, usually wins it. West Virginia would probably end up going towards Josh Hawley. Same with Nebraska. Then we head into the next few states, Kentucky and Oregon. Again, I could just see the more populist Republican and Josh Hawley doing a bit better than DeSantis here. Considering how much DeSantis' backed opponent in the primary lost to the Trump-backed one, I think we'd kind of see that pretty much appear again. Oregon would probably go up to DeSantis just because of Western advantage here. And then we're to the last few primaries, which I'm pretty sure are all winner take all except for New Mexico, I would suppose. Yeah, proportional. Okay, these last few batches of primaries. I think New Jersey probably ends up going towards DeSantis. New Mexico, it's a proportional state, but I think DeSantis' advantage among Latino voters would definitely come into play here. Montana and South Dakota. Again, the Dakota right here, South Dakota will probably be like a swing state in this primary, but I just think Montana would probably end up going towards DeSantis. And South Dakota, I think probably would narrowly go to DeSantis as well. So we pretty much have a contested convention where Nikki Haley delegates decide who wins. And I think DeSantis would probably offer Nikki Haley a VP slot, just ensuring that DeSantis gets all her delegates and wins. So pretty much a contested convention where DeSantis ends up winning at the end of the day. Hawley ends up pretty much narrowly losing. He lost by 100 or so delegates. Again, his struggle was he wasn't competitive enough in a lot of these southern states and Latino-based states where DeSantis would probably do a bit better than him. But other than that, I think DeSantis would probably be the nominee in the 2028 Republican primary if it was these candidates. So let me know what you think of this video in the comments below, and if you aren't subscribed already, I would highly recommend doing so. It really helps out the channel. But other than that, I'll see you all in the next video. Thanks so much for watching.